Now, like our segment said, in about 20 minutes or so at 10 a.m. in Seoul, U.S. President Donald Trump has his rendezvous with Korean business leaders. We want to go live now to our business correspondent, Kim Hyesung. She's standing by the Grand Hyatt in downtown Seoul, which is the venue of that very rendezvous. Now, Hyesung, describe to us what the atmosphere is like over there. I would imagine the security is extra tight, and so far we know that Samsung Electronics Lee Jay-yong, Hyundai Motor Group Chung Eui-sun, SK Group Chey Tae-won, Lotte Group Shin Dong-bin, and the VP of LG Group will be there, among others. Now, has any of them been spotted there just yet?
Exactly. I was here since 6 a.m. this morning. I saw them entering the hotel. The Hyatt is where President Trump stayed overnight. It's where most U.S. presidents have stayed during their visits to South Korea because it's located in Namsan, surrounded by mountains. There aren't many tall buildings around, so it's relatively safe. And security in and around the hotel, as you said, is super tight. You can see many buses and police around the area. And now going to the meeting between President Trump and South Korean business leaders, it's significant in that it's the first such meeting with President Trump. There are business leaders from a dozen Korean companies, like you said, those from Samsung Electronics, SK Group, Hyundai Motor Company, and LG Electronics. When Trump visited Korea back in November 2017, he had a banquet dinner with these business leaders along with President Moon Jae-in, but not a direct meeting with corporate executives, so it is first meeting between President Trump and the business leaders.
Hyesung, you know, the chiefs of those very five conglomerates we saw get together just a few days ago, if I remember correctly, for a late-night meeting with Saudi Arabia's MBS. Now, what are likely to top their agenda today with the U.S. president?
So, Connyoung, the meeting was organized by the U.S. Embassy to South Korea and AmCham, the American Chamber of Commerce in Korea. The AmCham and the U.S. Embassy and the White House reportedly asked these Korean companies for their investment data in the U.S. So companies present at the meeting, Connyoung, are those that have invested a lot in the U.S. or companies that have future investment plans. So President Trump is likely to call on these companies to invest more in the U.S., just as he had done during his meeting with Japanese business executives in Tokyo last month. Now, Samsung Electronics has a semiconductor factory in the U.S., in Texas, SK a battery factory in Georgia, and Lotte Chemical has a plant in Louisiana. So Trump, especially as his re-election campaign is underway, is likely to ask them for more investment into the U.S. But there won't be much on pressuring Korean companies to cut trade with Chinese tech firm Huawei, which had been somewhat of a concern for Korean businesses. Following trade talks with President Xi Jinping in Osaka yesterday, President Trump softened his tone on the Chinese tech firm, saying U.S. companies can supply parts to Huawei if it doesn't pose a risk to national security. So it is a relief for the South Korean chip makers. And another issue that could be on the agenda is auto tariffs, especially it could be raised by Hyundai Motor Company, who would demand an exemption to Trump's auto tariffs on Korean cars. The U.S. has been conducting an investigation under Section 232 on national security grounds, looking to possibly imposing tariffs on foreign car imports this coming November. In fact, USTR officials are known to have visited South Korea 2 weeks ago to conduct research on Korean auto industry. So now, Connyoung, the topics on the agenda are increasing investment into the U.S. and possibly exemption to auto tariffs for Korean companies. That's what I have for now, and I'll have more updates on our later newscast. Back to you, Connyoung.
All right, our Kim Hyesung nearby the venue of the business leaders meeting with the visiting U.S. president. Many thanks, Hyesung. We'll check back with you for more updates.